Hey, what's going on, guys? Dr. Sean J. Harris here at Generational Wealth Academy. Great morning to everybody. Listen, my talk for this morning is titled Six Figures, 12 Years Old, and You Better Go to College. Okay, what do I mean by that? In the last 3 weeks, I think Caden has had 2 or 3 people ask, is he going to college? Now, whether he goes to college or not is going to be totally his decision. Actually, he is currently enrolled in college courses right now doing a dual enrollment program. But what I want to share with you guys is having new ideologies and mindsets as it relates to what equals success. So let me start off with telling a quick story. I often share this story when I'm on a speaking platform, and I talk about this little girl who watched her mom in the kitchen baking a ham. The little girl noticed her mom cut the butt end of the ham off and discard it. So the little girl wondered. She said, "Mom, why do you cut the butt end of the ham off and throw it away?" The mom said, "Well, I don't know. Ask your grandmother. I always saw her doing it." So the little girl went and called her grandmom, said, "Grandmother, Mom was in the kitchen cooking a ham. She cut the butt end of the ham off and discarded it. Why did she do that?" So the grandmother pondered for a second, thought about it, and then she said, "Well, I don't know. I always watched my mother do it. So why don't you go call your great-grandmother and ask her?" So the little girl went and called her great-grandmother. "Great-grandmother, saw Mom in the kitchen cooking a ham. She cut the butt end of the ham off and discarded it. I asked Grandma, why did she do it? She said she didn't know. She only watched you do it and wondered the same thing." So the great-grandmother took a sigh and said, "Girl, I cut the butt end of the ham off so it would fit in the pot." So the moral of that story is, a lot of times we do things because they're tradition. We do them because we seen it done, but we don't really understand why it's done. The go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job, that's the same axiom as the butt end of the ham. Because what happens is, so many times people see that process as being the only way to success. But what happens many times is that you see people who have gone that journey and it didn't work out the way they anticipated it to, and they're still recommending that to their kids. I see and hear so many parents demand that their kids go to college. And then when I ask the parent, well, what are they going to study when they go to college? What are they going to major in? It's like, oh, I don't know, but they're going to college. The ideology of that just doesn't make sense. You're cutting the butt end of the ham off just because, but you don't really know why. So it was a principal and also a police officer in particular in the last couple of weeks. I remember that suggested that Caden go to college. The police officer happened to have 2 degrees, and this officer stated that they didn't even work in that profession. The profession they work in now wasn't even related to either one of the 2 degrees they went to, but they were encouraging Caden to get a degree. Again, we just do things because we've seen it done, we heard it done, but really don't have a clear explanation why we should or should not do those things. So the principal, the same thing. They were asking, well, what college are you going to? It's like a presumption that they're automatically going to go to college. So think about this. Caden is 12 years old, and he has 6-figure income. He runs a very successful business. He makes more than a lot of people who went to college. So why would that just be on the forefront of his mind to do something that traditionally has not worked for a lot of society when he's already financially at a level what college graduates or dual college graduates have already achieved? So I don't say that in a facetious way, but it's like we really have to stop and think as we're in this current generation. You got to realize that a lot can be learned from kids. So many times our egos get in the way. We feel that our successes are diminished because kids have figured out ways to do things in a quicker, more smarter, and more efficient way than what we have. Tara and I, we learn from Kennedy and Caden daily about things, about technology, about the changes that are taking place. So it would behoove us to pay attention to kids, because see, in our generations, we've always learned children are to be seen and not heard. And that's the most detrimental thing that you can do to a child And it's also the most detrimental thing we can do to adults, because we're losing the ability to learn from future generations because we got that hard-headedness that we can't learn from anybody else, particularly someone that's younger than us. So I tend to see that a lot of times that intimidate people, and you will see people will even try to challenge Caden's scholar or his genius. They try to ask him questions financially to try to stump him, but it's so funny when he has superior answers for them, and then they're kind of like, oh my God, well, I guess I better learn from you. I did a post some months back where it talked about the small innuendos that people say, or things that they do or say that are little jabs, but it's really underlying jealousy, or they actually despise you for the successes that you have. But we can't be like that. In this generation, we have to be able to learn to listen to the children. And here's another thing too. Your children, the quicker that they succeed, the quicker you're able to retire and do the cool things in life you want to do. What do I mean by that? Well, when you teach your kids financial literacy and they are financially and physically responsible with their own monies, guess what? That takes the burden out of you having to do extra things or having to work extra careers, working double jobs just to make ends meet. So Kitty and Caden are financially secure. They both own 2 companies. We only really talk about their main companies that you guys know about, but both kids own capital investment firms. So the combination of their companies, they're strong 6-figure business owners as 12 and 13-year-olds, plus the things that we've already prepared for them financially as it relates to building equity in our companies. They have intellectual property, IP. I've written 40 books. So that's a catalog. That's no different from Michael Jackson having a music catalog that he was able to pass down to his legacies. See, so we equipped our kids early. We equipped our kids while they were still in the womb financially, so that now they have time and money freedoms to be able to explore the things that they want to do. So if they want to go to college, they can feel free to do that. But here's the cool thing. They can do it without having to pay anything because they are already financially secure in those regards. So that's why it's important that we listen to the next generation and not think that we know it all. You have to be able to just to listen to the kids. I really can't stress that enough. But so many times we have to get out of that paradigm. We have to have a paradigm shift of stop believing that college is the end all, the be all. Because I know more people with more degrees than a thermometer and still not hitting it financially. They're still not where they want to be in life. We just met a young lady last week. She had to be probably in her early to mid 50s, and she was expressing how she was starting her second career. Guys, as a kid, when I was Kenny and Caden's age, I knew that at age 50, I was going to be on autopilot. And I've done that. We've built very successful businesses to where we have been financially free and independent for many, many years. And that's our aim and our goal, is to be able to help as many people as possible who want to be able to achieve financial freedoms and to be able to have both time and money freedoms. So don't be so pigeonholed and stuck on old ideologies of cutting the butt end of the ham off. We got to learn new ways to create income, be able to leverage things and tools like AI. We have to be able to learn these new strategies of attaining success and get out of that pigeonhole of thinking that college is the end all, the be all, the only way that you're going to succeed. All right, guys, I'm Dr. Sean J. Harris. Make impact and make money while you're doing it.